DogWorks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dog Works. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by First Paw Coffee Company, specializing in private label premium blend coffee. If you're serious about coffee, you should check it out. First Paw Coffee's passion is high-quality, small-batch roasted coffee. They take the extra time to taste and get everything perfect before they release new blends. They aim to bring you a cup of happiness each time you pour yourself some coffee. Find out more at ak.dog/free and enter for a chance to win some First Paw Coffee prizes, a book from our collection, and tote bag. One winner will be selected at random each month. That's ak.dog/free.
Hello and welcome to DogWorks Radio. This is your host, Michele Forto. I am the lead trainer of Alaska DogWorks, and today we're going to talk about something that we have built our training program on over the years. It's what we call dog training myths. On today's show, we tackle concepts of aversives, positive trainers, TV dog training fads, training tools, and more.
From DogWorks Radio Network, sponsored by Alaska DogWorks, professional canine training center in Anchorage, Alaska. This is the DogWorks Radio Show, committed to families and their dogs to build lifelong and fulfilling relationships. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. DogWorks Radio is part of the one and only 24-hour internet radio network dedicated to dogs. Now, here are your hosts, Robert and Michele Forto.
In the world of modern dog training, the word traditional has become a word to fear. Respected dog trainer Karen Pryor refers to traditional training as a negative reinforcement. Pam Sheehan describes traditional training with words like pain, choke, and pinch. She defines a traditional dog trainer as someone who waits for a dog to do something wrong and then delivers a correction. In the world of professional dog training, the word traditional has become synonymous with abuse. Traditional trainers are often referred to as control freaks, disreputable, old-fashioned, and disgusting. These epithets are not restricted to training techniques. They are also assigned to the people who train dogs with traditional methods. Expert and traditional trainer Cesar Millan has often been accused of putting dog training back 20 years. Rather than amalgamating with decades of dog training culture, the modern movement in dog training is repeating an error that has occurred time and time again throughout history. Invigorated by its own sense of educated self-assuredness, the click-and-treat movement in dog training has taken the position that almost everything traditional is bad and that the only way to save our pets from abuse and grief is to train them with treats, toys, and a positive attitude. Supported by a wealth of selective scientific research, the positive-only crowd has created a seemingly impenetrable industry wherein they are often regarded as the best. Using terms like positive reinforcement, dog-friendly, and well-researched, all while labeling traditional trainers abusive, the modern movement in dog training has fabricated an incredible myth that has proven dangerous and in some cases fatal to wonderful dog training careers. We ask the question, what is this myth? The positive-only movement has convinced much of the public that any form of discipline will result in an unhappy dog that fears its owner. Drawing on the human need to be loved and accepted, positive trainers encourage guilt by portraying modern dogs as frequent victims of human ignorance. They report that the greatest problem in dog training is the use of aversives and that the only way to educate dogs is to abandon any form of correction and adopt a forever positive attitude. Ignore the negative and reward the positive. They sing as they hop and skip across the country, click, click, clicking along the way. However progressive and positive they represent themselves to be, historically speaking, one of the greatest errors a society can make is to engage in the systematic and calculated removal of traditional practices. In more cases than not, these traditions are rooted in profound truths that people have learned after centuries of trial and error. Here's a word from our sponsor, and we'll join you in just a moment.
So earlier you learned about First Paw Coffee Company, and now I'm going to tell you about its Tail Wagger Blend. First Paw Coffee Company's Tail Wagger Blend is their first offering, and its name and label were crowdsourced from their Facebook fans. How cool is that? The Tail Wagger Blend is a private label premium blend that was developed just for them. It is a medium roast from Colombian beans with tastes of Brazil nuts, grapefruit, and oak. Be sure to go to ak.dog/free and enter to win a bunch of cool prizes. That's ak.dog/free.
For hundreds of years, dogs have been trained with methods that reflect the way we teach each other. Because the lives of dogs and people are so intimately entwined, the modern dog has evolved under the influence of human intuitiveness. Throughout the dog training world, there are people who can almost read their dogs' minds. The bonds that many people share with their dogs can seem almost supernatural at times, and it is not uncommon for dogs to risk their lives to ensure the safety of their owners. Because our union with dogs is so intensely special, it stands to reason that millions of people have developed an accurate understanding of how dogs learn and have used this understanding to train dogs for centuries. If we are to believe what the university halls are now teaching about positive-only training, we must accept the hypothesis that dogs have been unhappy for centuries, that they have not been able to work with a joyful heart, and that centuries of aversive training has oppressed dogs with sadness and pain. That could not be further from the truth. To bring this conversation closer to home, take the success of Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer. Millions of people all around the world love Cesar. Notwithstanding all the bad press and internet slander that takes place, his popularity continued to grow. Academically based trainers would have us believe that this success is a fluke and that his fame is based on his involvement with superstars. However, there are a great number of click-and-treat trainers who work with superstars and never reach the kind of celebrity that Cesar Millan has achieved. An educated man reaches the peak of his own narcissism when he can stand on a hill and shout down to the masses, "You are all wrong." When a person assumes that their formal education makes them more insightful than the common man, then that person has missed the greater purpose of higher learning. In the same way that your children will not learn to fear you if you raise your voice, and your husband won't walk out on you because you have a disagreement, healthy dogs are not made to feel any less loved because they are disciplined. They do not learn to cower in fear because you use a chain collar, nor will they love you better because you give them treats. We know this to be true because we see that it is true every day, every night, and year after year. The training of your dog is best achieved when you feel comfortable expressing yourself. Be honest with your dog, and your dog will be honest with you. If you feel that you can responsibly use a chain collar while training your dog, then you should pursue that path. If you feel uneasy about training with a corrective collar, then don't use one. In the end, you should use a training method that best represents the union between you and your dog. Choose your training method because you feel free and confident, and not because you fear that your dog may become a victim. Decisions based on fear and guilt is almost never healthy. Empower yourself with choice, and you will empower your dog as well. What do you think about these dog training myths? We are sure they will open up a fair amount of discussion. Please reach out to us on our social channels by searching DogWorks Radio, and always check out our website at alaskadogworks.com.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company. Learn more at firstpaw.coffee.
From First Paw Media, this is DogWorks Radio. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you'll see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert and Michele Forto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media. Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michele Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com.